福上无量天尊, my dear Dao friends, I wish you Happy New Year and a blessing from Germany, from the Yuzhangguan Dao Temple in Germany. Fu Shang Wu Liang Tian Zun. I wish you the best health and good wealth, the best fortune and prosperity for the upcoming year of the Red 2020. Will be a good year for you, I'm sure. And if you watch the Dao Talk live every day or every time, you will also learn something good. So welcome to join us for today's episode, the first episode in the new year 2020. I'm very happy. We had a few days of break of this live streaming, but today is the first time we are back now, and we have chosen the for me one of the best topics, Dao and De, and today we want to do a deep talk. So join me in the Dao Talk live tonight, wherever you are, near or far. Welcome to join the discussion or comment your opinions or questions in the comment section. If you like, say anything topic related, of course, Dao and De. And today we're gonna have a nice deep talk about Dao and De. So welcome, my dear Dao friends. Tsebe. Join me today. Yes, the first people are already joining us. I will enjoy today. You could guess, it's still the season, it's hot chocolate. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't make it a habit to tell you what I'm drinking, but in the moment I like this hot chocolate kind of things, especially during this time. Now it's 9:30 in Germany, and I'm in my practice room. So, well, before I go practice, I wanted to do this live stream today, talk a little bit deeper about Dao and about De. And well, maybe I give you a little bit response. We had a lot of feedback in the past few days, especially about the live streams. Many questions reach me through the email, especially through the messenger. So please go ahead, don't hesitate. If you have any question, Dao related or Daoist culture, Wudang culture related, martial art related, please don't hesitate and just ask me via the messenger. If I don't answer right away, then I will answer as soon as I can. Yeah, we have also many emails, so please be a little bit patient. In the last few weeks we have lots of incoming emails, so if you write us an email, just be patient. We're going to answer all of them. Oh yeah, thank you. Happy New Year, my dear disciple from Mexico, Chu Dao. 祝福你啊，祝福你家人啊。Happy New Year. Nice topic, yeah. As you know, Antonio, last time in Mexico we did the big conference and talk a lot about this, and Dao and De is a very basic topic, but we could talk about this forever. So there's a lot of information about both of the words, both of the principles, because this is what the principles are. And if we want to go into this deep talk now, let's start with what is Dao and De. So Dao, of course, you know, when you watch this, you know what is Dao. Dao is the Dao, but Dao is like the observer, the person or the thing what observes everything but doesn't interrupt. It is everything. And there's a good saying in the Daozang, the Dao is so big, nothing is outside of it, but it is so small that nothing fits inside. What is the meaning of this? That Dao includes everything. It is not a God, because the God you pray maybe gonna answer you, Dao will not answer you, because this is not what it is. It is so big that everything is included in it. All the universes, if you believe in the multi-universe system, if you just believe in our solar system, then it's just a solar system for you. The Dao is so small, nothing fits inside, is because nothing can catch the idea of it with words itself. So it is more or less a feeling. This is how I often describe it. It is not an idea. It is not something you see or touch. Yeah. 视不见我，听不得闻. This means if you look for it, you will not find. If you listen to it, you will not hear. So if you don't have this desire, and this is a special word for reaching Dao or become one, if you don't have the desire to become one with it, you're gonna become one with it. Welcome all my Dao friends from around the world. Join us for today's deep Dao talk, deep talk about Dao and De. I just gave a little introduction, and we were talking about what the principles of Dao really are. So Dao, thank you for the thumbs up, my dear friends. I'm looking down here. I have all the information on my screen, so I can also read the questions better, because on the mobile phone I use the mobile phone to stream and have the computer screen. That's why my face is so wide. I hope you don't mind. And yes, so Dao is so small that nothing fits inside. What is the meaning of this is, as I said, that the intention doesn't fit inside this. It is not necessary to have a desire for this, because once you want it too much and you close your hand, you will not have anything in it. But if you open it, you owe everything. Everything is in your hand. If you open it, just open the hand. So, my dear Dao friends, the Dao is like it's written in the Dao De Jing, the first sentence, the first chapter of the Dao De Jing. There's 81 chapters, and the first chapter describes all the ideas of the whole book of the whole 81 chapters. The first sentence describes what Dao really is. The Dao you can name is not the eternal Dao. The name you could call or you could say is not the eternal name. So in modern words translation, let me try to interpret it in a modern language. If you can call something, it is not the other thing. But Dao, as I said, is everything. So if you call it black, it's not white. But if you call it white, it's also not black. That's why we don't want to differ it. We don't want to make a difference between black and white. So we just give it a name. And in the Qing Jing Jing, in one sentence, it says it, I don't know the name, 我不知道它的名字. I don't know the name, so I call it Dao. And because we call it Dao, it doesn't mean in other languages the same principle, the same idea of what it is have another name. Or there's many cultures or many civilizations, they use the same idea, but they use different terms for it, different words for it. So we just use the word Dao because this is the way how we describe it, or how it is called in our community or in our civilization at now. So maybe in some other worlds it is totally a different word or a different name. I'm very sure about this, because maybe other civilizations, they use different languages. Other civilizations, they have different cultures. So maybe they just make a sound for it, or they even don't say anything. Because if you call it something, it is not something else. So this is what the first sentence of the Dao De Jing means. The name or the Dao you can call or you can name is not the eternal Dao. So the meaning of this is very clear. We just give it a name to talk about it, to know what we are talking about, because we are beings of communication. We need to use words to communicate, and we use those words to describe things. So we use the word Dao because also the character in Chinese, the character of Dao, have a very deep meaning. And my dear student is watching from right off the beginning, Antonio from Mexico. He saw me also in the conference describing this character. I don't have a table right now, so I just give an idea. There is a very deep meaning in the character of Dao. There's not only the writing in one. There is 3 characters within the character of Dao, and they have all a relation to what Dao cultivation or what Dao means. So this is why they choose this word. And Dao also means way in Chinese. But the Dao nowadays in modern Chinese describes not a way which is like curvy, or a street which is very curvy or have a lot of like curves or interceptions. But Dao in Chinese, modern Chinese, now means a long, straight, very wide street. So if we use because we are modern people, we are living in the now and not in 200 years ago, we use this word and also describe the Dao. Because the Dao is so big and so wide, everybody has space on it. It's not like, because I teach the way, the Dao I experience, the Dao I understand in a way, the same like other people, or they have other experience. Everybody brings a different experience to the Dao cultivation, to the Dao. And if they realize Dao, then they have their path. They found their way walking on this big, wide, long street, straight street. And I found my path, and I teach it the way I experienced it. And I like take students and teach them the way I learned it, or the way I realized the Dao. So when you understand what I mean with this, it doesn't mean that only one person teaching the Dao is the right way or is the only way. Everything is Dao. I shouldn't vibrate this, but this very makes my point. Everything is Dao means that even when you say, oh, this person doesn't know what he's talking about, we all don't know what we're talking about, because we just could come very close to it. But Dao cannot be named, cannot be called, cannot be touched, cannot be heard. So then when you can let go of all the desires, let go of all the ideas of form and formlessness and sound and color and all of this, then you are more closer to it. So when you understand that everybody is on the same Dao, then maybe you also start accepting other people's way, other people's paths. And when you can start accepting others like the same, like you accept yourself, then you are more closer to realizing Dao at all. My dear Dao friends, welcome to join us for today's deep talk about Dao and Dao. The Dao, again, we are modern people, we use modern terms. But when we look back, the way the old masters were teaching Dao is also through understanding or through hardship and through the way of cultivation and practice. When we think this is an easy task, then we are really on the wrong way. It takes a long time, and really it doesn't mean you need 40-50 years to become or to realize Dao. You just need to have the right method. And I was talking about many times, if even almost in the first beginning every episode of Dao Talk Live, that you need to have the right method to cultivate, to have a beneficial outcome. And if your teacher or the master you are learning from doesn't give you the right method, or doesn't even know by themselves and just come up with something, then it is not possible to realize or to reach any goal. with this practice, especially with scripture practice. I was talking a lot about the scripture practice, but it is any practice, any Daoist cultivation has a method. And if you know the method, you're gonna have very good process, a very good progress in the cultivation. I was talking about Zhanzhuang, I was talking about Taiji, I was talking about sitting meditation, scripture practice, recitation, and ceremonies, and so on. And all these, and also talisman, especially the talisman, the incantation, yeah, especially the Daoist cultivation, internal cultivation. It's very delicate and need a detailed leading of a teacher through certain periods, through certain conditions, through certain obstacles or problems on your way, or anything you achieve could also end up in a disaster if you don't have a teacher who already passed this obstacle or who already passed this cultivation. And if you have a good teacher like this, you're a very fortunate person. If you have a teacher who knows his stuff and teach you the right method, then you can reach the Tao, you can realize your Tao. If you don't, you maybe need to look for it. And even the time or the phase of looking for a teacher, 熏仙闻道 is the phrase in Chinese. It is part of your Daoist cultivation, because you're gonna see a lot of things during this time. And once you find the right master, once you find the right teacher, it is just a matter of yuanfen, of fate, that he accepts you and you accept him. And I was talking about this relationship between Shifu and Dizi before, and this is not the main topic today, but Daoist cultivation, to practice Dao, to practice Daoism, it needs a good teacher. You can understand philosophy, whatever, from books, but real Daoist practice, real cultivation, it's only transmitted from master, from Shifu to the Dizi. And even I teach a lot of things also via the internet. Also, a lot of people, they make video Skype one-on-one teaching, and also students visit my workshops and they are very happy, they learn a lot. But if they are not my disciples, there's only to a certain point what I teach, because as a disciple decides at the moment when they become a Daoist, a disciple of this Shifu, that they gonna turn their life around. And this is also a part of the disciple ceremony, 拜师仪式, that you make a vow in front of the gods, in front of the patriarchs, that you're gonna cultivate Dao on a higher level. Everybody can cultivate Dao, but if you want to become a disciple and you join the lineage, then there's many more gates gonna open, many more, like Michuan, like only transmitted, or only methods only transmitted from Shifu to the disciple. And this is the tradition. There's many traditions in Taoism. There's many lineages and many schools. So again, the Tao is very wide and everybody has space on it. So if you have the faith to find a master who is specialized in talisman, for example, then you're gonna be very good in talisman if he teaches you. And if you're a martial artist, or find a master in the martial arts, then you become very good in martial arts. But again, there's fate involved. If you don't find the right teacher, because maybe you don't even look for it the right way, then you will never reach a good, a higher level of anything. If you want to become very good in something, you need to put the effort in, you need to put the work in, and then you can become a master of this. You master yourself before you master others. And to master others is easy, but to master oneself is more difficult. For those thinking I'm drinking coffee, it's just hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee at night. I barely drink coffee, but I like hot chocolate at the moment. So I got some nice gifts here, also some chocolate cookies and stuff from the past few days. A lot of my students come with some gifts, so I want to thank it on this way. Thank you everybody for thinking of us. We had a lot of New Year greetings and Happy New Year from everyone, and it's very, very nice. You guys not only watch my Dao talks, but you also give me feedback and you think about us when there's a nice holiday or a special day, and it's very, very appreciated. 感谢大家，慈悲慈悲。So let's continue talking about De. De is, for me, is the more important, or more, I have more to say about De, because there's many misconceptions about this anyway. So let me pull this thing straight tonight. And thank you for joining us tonight for the Dao Talk, deep talk about Dao and De. And I talked already a little bit about the Dao. And if you missed it, then you could start the live stream. After we finish the stream, it's going to be saved, so you can watch the video again and watch the part you missed out. So let's talk about De. And if you have any questions or anything to say about this, please don't hesitate. Just start commenting, and we can answer your questions live on the stream. And I'm able to read your questions during the live stream, so don't hesitate. Just ask right away if you have any questions, or if you want to say anything about this. It's appreciated, very much appreciated, if you join us for the live stream, live talk. So that's why we do this live, so you can have the chance to also right away ask questions, and we could answer them right away. All right, back to the topic, Dao and De. So De is virtuousness, but also merits. So let me talk about the principles of this first. Dexing is the character of being virtuous. So when you want to realize Dao, many might say you need to first realize De. And also in the Qing Jing Jing, there's very clearly described the method or the progress or the way you realize De, or realize Dao at the highest end, or at the highest peak. So to become a virtuous person, you need to learn first what is the Sambao, the three treasures. Of the three treasures of the Sambao, Xue Dao Sambao, the three treasures of learning Dao, of studying Dao, the three treasures of cultivating Dao, and the three treasures of transforming Dao in your daily life. And there's a episode of Dao Talk Live I did a week ago about, where I do a deep talk about the Sambao, the three treasures. So go ahead and watch this after today's Dao Talk. You could also find the episodes on our YouTube channel, Daoist Liu. If you want to watch it on YouTube, there's a playlist, and all the Dao Talks are uploaded on there every week. So you're gonna find all the episodes on YouTube as well, if you want to find them. So the De is a very important principle to cultivate Dao, because when you are not a virtuous person, or when you if you don't cultivate the De, then you will also not be able to realize Dao. Why is that? Because De is for your character to make this person or make the practitioner a Daoist cultivator, a round, a polished mirror, let's call it this way. Yeah, if we cannot become a polished mirror, how can we realize the Dao? Yeah, I mean, this probably doesn't make sense for you, only for the people who understand what I'm talking about. But I want to keep it simple and translate it in a modern language. To realize Dao, you need to become a good person first. Is this easy enough, right? You need to become a good person. You need to become a virtuous person. You need to build up merits. And what is a merit? Yeah, I do good deeds without expectation. I do good deeds to my neighbors. I do all the time, anywhere where I'm needed. And along the way, along the Dao, along the path, you will find yourself in a situation where you need to decide if you want to think of yourself first or if you want to think of others first. And again, watch the episode of the Three Treasures, then you will understand what I'm talking about now. If you put yourself in front of others, then you don't realize Dao in this moment. Yeah, maybe you need to practice a little bit more the Three Treasures. So in the Xing Dao Sanbao, the Three Treasures of transforming the Dao in your daily life is, to say them again, is like merciness, simplicity, and don't put yourself above others. So when you can do that, yeah, the Dao, and it's also a phrase from the 8th chapter, my favorite chapter of the Dao De Jing, Shanshan Rushui, the water flows where no one wants to go, where no being wants to be. So the water is close to the Dao because it doesn't fight, it doesn't have a desire. It feeds the good and the bad. And the Dao and the De go along. If you don't cultivate De, if you don't become a virtuous person, building up merits, you will not be able to realize Dao because you still put yourself in front of others. And to become like Dao is to become like water. If the water would divide people in good and bad and only feed the good, then the other half, the bad people, will all die because every being needs water. And the water doesn't make a difference between good and evil. It just feeds every being. And this is why water is so close to Dao. Yeah, it flows always to the deepest point because it doesn't want to be above other things. This is the principle, the idea behind this. So when you can become a virtuous person, if somebody shout at you or point the finger at you or whatever not, we are all people, we are all humans, and we all make our mistakes, and we all are on the Dao to cultivate, to become better in the cultivation. So if we make a mistake and we don't realize it, then it's probably because we didn't have a clear mind. So we start with clearing the mind first. If we cannot clear the mind, we need to make a body still first. And this is step by step. First the stillness of the body, then the clearness of the mind. And when we can realize, we just make a mistake, or we just reacted in a not so good way, we could make this person, like for example, you have an argument with somebody at the supermarket because they take the last piece of cheese, which you saw first, then you let them, maybe it's just the way it is, it's just Rang, yeah, this is what I just said. Don't put yourself in front of others. Yeah, rang is the Chinese word also for it. And if you realize, you start arguing with them about this piece of cheese, and in the moment you realize, you just let go of it. And if you can let go of it, then you're already a step further in your cultivation. It is a daily task. Same like I listened to, no, I saw a thing, a video of one alcoholic, and he became sober, and this is the same daily struggle for him. He every day needs to be aware of his actions. If he cannot be aware, he just go back to his old habits. And this is the same with Daoist cultivation. If you every day be aware, be conscious in your doing, then you can also avoid these kind of reactions, because before they happen, you already know that, and you can decide whether you argue about this last piece of cheese or you let go of it. And letting go is rang, yeah. So don't put yourself in front of others. Also, maybe the cheese is not so good. So the Dao is also avoiding you some stomach problems. Yeah, so Thomas, you say water is love. Yeah, if you don't drink water, then you will probably end up dry, like a dry piece of fish or a dry piece of wood. The water feeds everything. And we're gonna make a deep talk about the 8th chapter of the Tao Te Ching at one point, because the understanding of the Tao, of the Tao Te Ching, is all about this 8th chapter. 上善若水. Well, I'm just looking at one of the bigger pieces of art. One master gave it to me. It's the 上善若水. Yeah, it's mirrored, I know, and we were talking about this. I still didn't figure out how to make this mirror thing go away, but unfortunately probably it's not possible with my phone. Yeah, so if you have any idea how to demirror it during the live stream, I would appreciate it a lot. But until then, we just continue the way we do, because when I show you something, it's very difficult to show it when you just have to mirror it. Anyway, okay, off topic. So back to the topic of Dao and De. If you have any questions, Thomas gave a comment, water is love, and it's a very deep meaning. I know your meaning, and love is like water. Yeah, it can liquidize everything. So to understand the meaning of De, yeah, I should write the characters down. But maybe we have another Dao talk about this, where I have the blackboard, the whiteboard. We have it in the teaching room in the college. But anyway, if I describe the meaning of it, you're gonna understand. Yeah. So De have a character on the bottom, is the heart, is the 心之底, yeah, is a heart character on the bottom of this character, which means the De is only possible to cultivate through the heart. And this is why the Chinese words, the characters, the language is so deep of the meaning, because there's many meanings within the characters. There's also 双人旁. 双人旁 is on the side of the character. There's two or multiple being, the character for more than one person. So there's many persons involved in this. So I by myself, yeah, can practice Dao, cultivate Dao, but to cultivate De, there need to be people around me and a society. So in our social system, in our community, or in our family even. Yeah, when we don't practice De, it's gonna fall apart very soon, very quick, because the acceptance is one very big part, one very big principle in cultivating De. And another De, yeah, is called Gong De, yeah. And because there is so many misconceptions about the word De, I want to tell you a little bit about the Gong De, the merits, or the offerings, even for the altar of for the gods. Yeah, it's also called De, and they have also a relation, a connection to the Dao and De. It's the same character. In Chinese, there is often 2 characters or 3 characters have one meaning, and one of those characters could be mixed up with some other characters, so they have a different meaning, but they are connected. They have a similar principle, or even the same principle and a similar idea. So here is what the Gong De means. Gong is work. The word work, like Kung Fu, is a very common word. Gong means something with the action, or where you do an effort. So when we do an effort with De, yeah, with the Dexing, with the character of virtuousness, yeah, then it's Gong. It's called Gong De. And the meaning of this is that when we do a good deed, it is something what we use our effort for, yeah, to do a virtuous thing. So this is called Gong De. And there is merits. There's 3 different merits, actually. There's the Yin Gong De, and Yang Gong De, and Zhen Gong De, or True Gong De, we want to say. And what people call, let's say, okay, the merit with intention. I want to do something good for somebody else because something, and because there is the motivation or the idea behind this. Yeah, this is not the true Gong De. It is a Gong De because you do something good, or you do a good deed or a good merit, and of course there is probably, I say probably because there's I was talking about this in an earlier episode. There is probably a good outcome of your action, which we cannot make sure 100%. But if we, for example, offer some fruits to the god, this is a Gong De, right? But if and here's what also is a case. Quite often we offer something because we want something back. Let's say we offer some fruits to the god and ask for money, for good luck. Yeah, then we offer this thing only because we want something in return. It is very common and it's not a bad thing, but if you, for example, and here is a modern day scenario, if you have a Mixing, what's it called in English? A star, yeah, a Hollywood star, very famous, many movies, and all of a sudden there's a scandal about this person. Maybe he's involved in some drug things, or maybe he punches a relative or whatever, and there is bad, it affects his image in a negative way. So, and this is also in the politics quite often, very, very common. And oh yeah, thank you, Sandra. Sandra, my dear friend, my dear Dao friend, yeah, welcome to join us. We have actually, if you didn't see it earlier, we have a regular Dao talk. Until a couple days ago, we do it every day, but now I have lots of work and also practice to do, so we do it a couple days in the week and do the live stream. So you're welcome to join us anytime you have time. Watch the live stream and also join the live conversation, live talk, so we can discuss about certain topics and also answer questions of the audience anytime. And even after the video, the live stream stopped, we are saving this video also on YouTube, so anyone can watch them again and again and ask the questions again and again. All right, so let me continue this idea or this story, what I was about to say. This politician or the star is involved in a scandal, and to let everybody forget about this very quick, they do something very good. But let's say a scenario, I just often use this scenario. The star is involved in a scandal, and then they use their money to do something good, and they go to an orphan place and give a lot of money to something. So there's only good news about this person in the moment. So it covers up the dirty things or the dirty stories from before, and they do this good deed only with the motivation of covering up this thing. Yeah. Or let's say somebody, and even in the politics is quite common, they do something good for another country because in the future they want something in return. It's a mafia method, it's a mafia way, right? And this is when you do something with the motivation or with the idea of getting something in return, not now, but also in the future, it is not Zhenggongde. And Gongde is very important for if you, for example, offer something to the gods, the merits you do, it's not only for yourself, but also for generations after you. And to not go into so much of this deep esoteric things, esoteric Dao, yeah. It is very simple. If you do something good to somebody else and have in mind that you could get something in return, is not true merit, and you will not get any benefits from this anyway. Because Dao knows it all, yeah. So when you, for example, and this is also not really the true Gongde, the Zhenggongde, yeah. If you do something without any motivation, but you just do it, you know, and help the people, and you have in mind that this is a merit, this is a good thing to do, then it is also a good merit, of course, but because you have in mind that you do something to build up merits or do a Gongde, this is also not called Zhenggongde, true Gongde. And every action can cause an effect. Every action we do causes an effect on others. So this is also a little bit off today's topic, but I was talking about in this previous episode of the Deeptalk Live, and you could watch them all to find which episode I was talking about the karma, the 报应, 因果报应, the karma. And so if we happen to be a person who is very good by nature, don't even think about doing anything good to others, but just do it. Even you do your actions, and this is why I mentioned the cause and effect. Your action or your cause affects others in a positive way. Yeah, for example, just a very simple idea to get the principle in your head. You find a piece of glass on the street and you think, oh, okay, I pick it up and throw it in the trash can. Yeah, and somebody right after you, you already passed, maybe an hour later or 2 hours later or maybe days later, somebody drive the bicycle there, and they would, if you wouldn't pick up this thing, they would drive over this piece of glass and fall and break their leg. So you don't know about this situation, you don't know that the person drive there, you just in the moment, in the right moment, do the right thing without any intention. And this is true Gongde. And this is also very big topic of the Tao Te Ching. Yeah, doing the right thing, not interfering with the nature. Yeah, do the right thing in the right moment with the right intention. Yeah, not with any idea of what can come back to you about this. 这个就是真功德 true 功德 true merit, true virtuousness. So I'm probably talking very bad English for those native English speakers, so I hope you could forgive me. And if I say something in a wrong termatic, please correct me anytime. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm happy if you correct me. And I'm more than happy and appreciate all the feedback of my dear Dao friends from around the world, because your feedback gives me the motivation to continue with these live streams. And as I see, I mean, a lot of people write me messages every day, also write a lot of emails, and they ask me for certain topics I should talk about or mention any questions they have or answer those questions in the live stream, and I do. And I hope today I answered a few questions from my dear Dao friends who just recently write me. And I wanted to mention one thing very important. We have an upcoming online course, and it is still, we have already a few Dao friends from abroad joining our online class. It is the first semester from February, 6 months. And a semester is always 6 months, yes, for those who don't know what this means. For 6 months, and we have the topic of Daoist ceremony, of course. If you are interested in learning more of this, now I do a little bit advertisement for this course, but it is very interesting because there's a program we created, not me, but also some of my students helped me with this, to teach the morning ceremony. We were going to focus first on the morning ceremony, and then in the advanced semesters, advanced courses, we're going to focus on the evening ceremony. And then also, of course, within those courses, there is other topics, practices, and so on. Very interesting is maybe the Shouju, the hand seals, and some of the talisman practice, or even internal practice during the ceremony. And who is interested in this course could also contact me, and I'm more than happy to give you more of the details, more of the ideas. We still have some space. It's going to be an online course which is starting in February, so you still have some time to decide. And if you want to have more information, I'm also going to post information about this maybe later on, or maybe in the next coming days, so you are able to look into this. And if you decide to join our class, you're more than welcome. Yeah, I'm very happy for everyone who is interested in learning with us. If you want to join any local workshops, we also in 1 week we start the second international Dao study ceremony course, the study program. And we have international guests, international students coming to learn with us. And well, we're gonna have another one in the midsummer around July, but I'm going to inform you soon enough. So if you want to join our workshops, you're also welcome. If you're interested in learning scriptures, if you're interested in learning the ceremony, well, maybe I'm the right person you could contact. Yeah, I'm also a long-term practitioner, a long-term student from some good masters in China, and I studied the Gaogong, the ceremony, high ceremony, the high priest. Yeah, so if you want to know more about me, you probably look on my profile and you're gonna see all the informations. Yeah, so if you have any questions about Taoism, Daoist related topics, Wudang related topics, martial art, internal practice, you're more than welcome to contact me via email, via Facebook Messenger, and WhatsApp, WeChat, whatever you can find, wherever you can find me. Instagram, you can also follow us on Instagram if you like. and ask anything Dao related, so Daoist related. I'm Patrick Liu. People call me Liu Shifu from the Yujianguan Wudang Temple in Germany. And yeah, I think today we talked a lot about Dao and De, and you get some idea of the meaning of Dao and De. And maybe we're gonna continue tomorrow or the day after with another Dao Talk Live. I will do 2 or 3 episodes a week now. Yeah, I had to look and think, because 2 and 3 episodes I think is good to have a lot of content and topics. And if you like, just give me some feedback so I know if you like this or not. So yeah, let's stop here. I wish you a good night, a good day, wherever you are, near or far. It's the day, my dear Dao friends. See you next time.